Hello everybody, it's me, Farham. We're here with a bit more Path of Exile 2, and today I'd like to make a quick video going over some of the crafting mechanics and some of the things you can do in your hideout to 1. Save yourself some currency, and 2. Hopefully make a spare bit of currency. We're going to go over a couple of external resources, a couple of websites you can use to help determine if items you've got are good and worth crafting, and then the sorts of methods you can use to actually craft them. We won't be in this video going into the super high-end methods, we won't be using any omens. I'll touch on them and I'll describe a little bit about what they do, but I'm not going to be dropping lots of divines on doing some crafts around rings. With that in mind, let's jump straight into the crafting segment. We're going to take a look at 3 rings we got out of our gamble the other night and see if we can turn them into something that's worth a bit of money. Alright, so we're over at the crafting bench and we have our sea of rings here. And now, for the most part, these are not good. I've filtered out 4 of them, and 4 of them look like they're probably worth taking a little look at crafting and seeing if we can make something a little bit better. But how do we actually determine if something is good for crafting? Now, as you play the game, you will start to notice when there's really high numbers on things, and when the numbers go together, you'll be like, oh, that's good. But how do you actually know, right? Are these good rolls? Are these 2 things that go together? Obviously, maximum mana and mana regen, you can see those on a ring. They're probably going to be good together. If you hold Alt, you can see that one's a prefix and one's a suffix. But what you're not shown here, unfortunately, are the actual ranks and the tiers of those upgrades. So every upgrade can have a tier from, I think it now starts with tier 10 being the lowest, or the higher number is the lower tier, and number 1 is the best, which, you know, I guess number 1 comes first. So here we've got a tier 2 and tier 1. The mana's tier 2, and the mana itself is tier 2, yeah, and the mana regen is tier 1. You can actually check these tiers, and this site will be linked in the comments below on, one moment, caller, Craft of Exile. So we've got this site over here. Over here, we're looking for crafting of a ring, and we've got all of the possible ring prefixes and ring suffixes here. So we can go to maximum mana, and we can see, we just check this ring here, 178 maximum mana. So that falls into the 165 to 179 bracket. That's rank 2. You need to have an item level 77 for this to spawn. You actually need an item level 82 for the rank 1 mana. Now, if we look at mana regen rate, that's actually a suffix on the right-hand side here. We can see that's hit 60 to 69%. So I think that's sitting at 66% at the moment, which is actually an item level 79. So that is an item level 79 ring. So that's a very good hit there. So we're going to take that ring last. We're actually going to craft that one up last. We've got 3 other rings here. They've got pretty good stats on. This has got rank 1 mana regen. This one's got, I believe, a rank 2 dexterity. Rank 1 being 30 to 32. And this has got a rank 1 all attributes. So we're going to start off with these 3 rings here. So if we go over to our wealth tab or currency tab, or if you don't have a currency tab, wherever you're storing your currency, recommend currency tab, and we're going to pop one of these into the crafting spot over here. So it's already magic, so the first crafting item you've got is a transmutation. It will upgrade a white item to a magic item with 1 modifier. If you've got good bases, like if we found an amethyst ring, I would strongly recommend using a transmute. If you've got a high item level and you hit a good first craft, then you've got something you can make, right? So anyway, let's all get up. So you've got to massage the item first for good luck, and then you press the button and you get 77 maximum mana, which, if we check back to our crafting site over here, we can see that that's actually only a rank 8. So that's quite low. You only need item level 31 for that. This is probably a brick at this point. We can start to check to see exactly where we are with this. So if we go over to the actual trade website, so if I come over to and open a trade window and we actually start looking for a ring, we can see if this is still worth anything. So if we go to, it's going to be looking for a ring, so on the trade website here. This again, I will link this over in the description, but this is where people list their items. This is how you can find out if something you've got is worth money. We've got maximum mana on there, haven't we? And what's the value that we've hit, going between 70 and 79? So if we do a maximum mana value of 70 and 79, we'll go for exactly that tier of mana. And then, what was the other one? It's mana regen. If you hold the tilde key on the right-hand side, you can actually then type in any part of a word. So I can just type in Anna if I want. And it'll give me everything with mana in it. It's percentage increased mana regen rate. But this hit the top tier, so it should be at least 60. We don't worry about the max. We'll just search for top tiers. And I think this had an implicit of chaos resistance, didn't it? So if we search for chaos, tilde key. These are explicit modifiers. You've got explicit and implicit. Implicit are the ones that appear at the top that you can't change without chaos or corruption, but we'll go into that. Let's have a look. So, I mean, even now, even with those hits, they're still selling for 2 Exalted. I mean, even the blue we've got now, we could put that up for 3 Exalted. Bear in mind, all we've spent, 1 blue currency. We could put that up for 3 Exalted and let someone else take over the craft here at this point. Or we could keep going. We could risk it. We've already made good profit on that ring, though. So that's just to show you, even with blue currency, we can do something. There's 3 Exalted right there. We can put that right into a trade tab. So, trade tab, you right-click on your tab in the stash, not over here, it reorganizes them. You tick to make your stash public, each individual item priced. Then we can put our item in there, right-click on it, set the exact price, and we can say, right, well, we know that someone's selling something really similar. That's going for 3 Exalted Orbs. We're going to sell for 3 Exalted Orbs too. We're not in a rush. We're not trying to cut the competition or anything. We'll just put it up there, wait, see if someone wants to buy it. If they don't want to buy it, maybe we'll continue the craft tomorrow or something like that. All right, so let's move on to our next ring. So the dexterity one, actually, that's probably our least good ring here. So what we'll try is we'll try with the sapphire ring of the comet, and we'll go for an augmentation again. We massage a ring. Now that is more than likely a brick. I think that's a really, really low accuracy rating, and that will probably not be worth any money. So accuracy, yeah, it's like it's an item level 20. So I think we just put that one right in the bin. Just put that one right in the bin. We don't want that one at all. So instead we're going to go on to the next one. The unset ring of the Jaguar. Massage it. Hit it. You brick it. You put that one away as well. But we've got one more ring that we're probably going to take this one all the way no matter what. Right? This one I can show you is already worth quite a bit of money coming out of the box like this. So if we jump over to the site, I've got filters set up for this type of ring. So as we started before, we're searching for a ring, right? Mana regen 60, tier 2 mana. I think we just go 160 to 169 here. If I remember the tier now, which I think I do. Oh no, it's 165 to 1. Ooh, that was very wrong. I could have hit the wrong tier there. So always important to check your tiers. 165 to 179 is the value there. There's 24 results there, and the cheapest, and this is with a load of brick on it, the cheapest is 1 divine orb. So we can see here that this is a premium. This is a premium set. We could probably put this up for 2 divines now, and someone might buy it. They might, because they're eager to try and hit that really, really good craft. But we want to hit the good craft, right? We want that thrill. So this has already got a prefix and a suffix on it. Magic items can only have 2 modifiers. Rare items, well, I think magic items can actually have 0 to 2 modifiers, and rare items can have 0 to 6 modifiers, because you can use annulments to remove things. I've also offered the use of annulment. We might do it on one of the other items if we don't need to annul this, but we might have to risk there. Anyway, the next item, so to upgrade magic to a rare, you can use a regal orb. So pop this on here. And we've got, I do believe we might have just hit a tier 1 cold resistance. So cold resistance is on the right-hand side. Now we've hit a tier 2 cold resistance because we couldn't quite hit tier 1 there. You need a level 82, but that's fine. Tier 1 cold resistance is very good. So if we update our search results now, and let's see if our craft is becoming even more valuable. So if we type in tilde cold here, search for this cold resistance, and then what we will do is what was it, number 36, so I think this is 35 is the minimum. So if we put 35 to, oh sorry, it's 36 to 40. So if we put in those tiers there and then search again, filter down our search results. We've only got 1. It's already selling for 3 divines, and this has got, well, it's got life on it as well, and a decent roll of life there. That is good value, but I don't think we're done here. Don't think we're done. So this is the point where you can start to spend money. This ring's already worth divines, right? There's many exalts in a divine. I think they're currently trading about 74 at the time of this video, but always check the market. It fluctuates all the time. We will cover how to check the market quickly without leaving the game soon, because there's a cool new feature. Anyway, let's grab an exalt, and let's put another modifier on it. So exalts, you can call it slamming, right? You slam the exalt on there, you get another modifier. It's going to be kind of random. There's other deterministic crafting we could do, and we might get to the point, hope we get to the point where we can do a deterministic craft on this ring, because we can make it very good. At the moment, we have 2 suffixes and 1 prefix. So let's slam and hope we hit another prefix. We did. It's increased fire damage, which is a bit of a brick, but that's actually okay. I believe. It is. It's not the worst. Right, so we go one more time. We hit this prefix again, we can do something really cool. Let's hope we hit that prefix, guys. Come on. Oh, we hit a suffix, but cast speed's a decent one, but it's a low. Well, there's not really a high rate. There's not really a high rate suffix there. So what we can now do is we can just go for one more exalt. We're not going to hit another resistance, or we can do something risky here. So personally, if we were doing this just to make divines, I'd sell this at this point. I'd put it up for 2 divines and just wait till it sells, and someone else can take the risk on that last modifier or do some deterministic crafting. But let's say there's 3 things we want to keep there, and 2 we don't. We can use the Chaos Orb for a 40% chance to hit one of the ones we don't want and replace it with something else, but we've got a 60% chance of hitting something that we do want. Or we can annul for the same chance of just removing and then go back to slamming, which is going to be a lot more expensive way of doing things. So what we're going to do is we're going to try the Chaos Orb so I can show you what Chaos Orb does. Right. See that? Got rarity now. Got rid of something we didn't mind. Should we hit it with one more Chaos Orb? Should we slam it again? That might again give us a 50-50 of using the Chaos Orb to do something great. So let's slam it one more time. Increase cold damage, increase fire damage. I think we... Shame. Shame. It's probably still worth a divine. But if we can get rid of that chaos damage, or the cold damage, or the rarity, and replace it with something better, then that would be very, very good. If we could replace fire damage with life or cold damage with life, that ring would be worth a lot more. But we're not going to waste any more currency. Sometimes you've got to know when to cut your losses. I would never suggest chaos slamming. It's a 50-50 chaos slam. Chaos is just trading about 1-to-1 at the moment. You could start risking it, but if you knock off the mana regen, or if you knock off the mana, you've knocked off all value of this. At the moment, it's got 2 high resistances, an implicit resist, and 3 stats that are fairly useful. So, at the very least, what we could do is, let's say, alright, we don't think it's quite worth 2 divine anymore, because we've got so many brick stats on there. But it's worth probably more than a divine when we look at what other options are up there on the trade site. So let's put it up for somewhere around the 85 exalt mark. About 1.1, 1.2. So there you go. There's a pretty decent craft that's come out. But we've still got some more crafting stuff over here that we can use. So let's craft up one of these rings. So we're going to slam it. No, we're not. We're going to alchemy it. No, we're not. We're going to regal it. Got rarity. We're going to slam it. We've got strength. It's a 27 strength ring. We're going to slam it again. We've got a bad mana roll. We're going to slam it again. We've got fire damage to attacks. What a ring we've made. What a ring. So that's using all the currency we've already used before. But now what else can we do with it? Well, the Orb of Annulment removes a random modifier from the item. Dun, 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 dun. The mana's gone. That's what annulments do. What can we do with Exaltus again? Slam something back up. We got 11 mana down from 40. So what else have we got? Got a Divine Orb. What do these do? Oh, look at all the numbers. And the numbers have changed. I've just bricked most of the wealth, but there you go. That's what divines do. Do not use divines until you've got perfect... Do you know why divines are worth so much? Because they're the things used to craft perfect items. Once you've got all those rank 1 modifiers, you're then slamming divines on it until they're all maxed out. And sometimes that can be quite all those numbers. There might only be 12 values they could hit, but you've got 6 things that can hit 12 values. You can do the maths. It's quite hard to get them all to the top value. Don't waste your divines. That was purely for demonstration purposes only. Do not try this at home. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. But anyway, that's how you use your base crafting materials here. But let's show what we can do with something else. So hopefully we get this one into the state where I can show this off. We're going to regal it up.
A few moments later.
All right, so here we have a nice blue ring, and we're going to talk briefly about deterministic crafting. So there's a couple of items. There are, if I go and check the Tabless Wealth, we've got the concept of these omens where, I think I've got one, where when you've got an omen, you can get certain currency to do certain things. This one, for instance, makes an Exalted Orb give 2 instead of 1 modifier when you slam. However, there are some that will ensure that Chaos Orbs only remove the lowest roll and things like that, where you do sort of find and replace. But these things are very expensive. However, there are a couple of other items that are a bit cheaper that you can use for deterministic crafting, and you may well have picked some of these up already. So essences, you can upgrade a normal to a magic item with one modifier. The modifier is of a certain type. And if we jump over to our Craft of Exile for a moment, we can see that there's quite usefully tags on these that show their types, and they will match up with the names of these various essences. So let's have a quick look at what this means. We'll jump to our wealth tab. So we've got the cold resistance, physical damage, ring of kings right here, and we've got a greater essence of flame, which will upgrade us to rare with 1 fire modifier. Now that's going to go one of 2 ways with this. That's either going to hit the fire on the prefix side of fire damage to attacks, or I'm sure there's also fire damage to spells this could hit, and it's just not here right now, but anyway, I'm sure of that. Or it's going to hit the fire resistance, or it might hit the percent all elemental resistances. It's got a slightly higher chance of hitting the fire resistance than the elemental resistances, and it's got a slightly higher chance, according to this, of hitting one of the suffixes than it does the prefixes. That's going on the basis that we have a total of 5 and 8, 13 ranks on this side, but only 9 ranks on this side. I think actually we'll find there's a lot more ranks on the other side, and we're going to come out with either fire damage to spells or fire damage to attacks. But let's see what happens. We actually hit rank 2 fire resistance. Oh, that's how you can do some deterministic crafting with some of the items that are more bespoke than sort of what you've got up the top here. We'll cover off crafting currency very briefly, but you use these before you corrupt things to make them 20% better. 20% better in the terms of the numbers that are up here at the top. So you can see I've got quality affecting the energy shield, quality affecting the spirit, quality affecting the armor, the energy shield. That's what these currencies are here for. You've probably used the jeweler's orbs to make better skills. I probably don't need to go over those. And artificer's orbs can put holes in the things so you can put runes in them. It's not really crafting, right? That's just putting slots in your gear. That's not how to determine what's going to happen a little bit. There's 2 more items that have appeared here. Unfortunately, I don't have a mirror to show off mirror crafting. Obviously, next stream we'll have a mirror and we'll be mirroring some. No, I'm never ever going to see a mirror. But there's one more thing we can talk up here, and that's the Orb of Chance. So this works in an interesting way. If I jump onto the subscribe tab, not the like tab, the like and subscribe tab, but the subscribe tab held a gold ring. And if we put that in here, the Orb of Chance will do one of 2 things. It's either going to make this a unique item, something very rare, very exciting, or it's just going to poof, and it'll be gone. So let's have a look what it does. We're either getting a Ventor's Gamble or it's gone, right? I don't know what it's going to do. And it's gone. So that's what Chance Orbs do. Chance Orbs are something to gamble late game in leagues, and when you're bored of the game, you invest all your currency in Chance Orbs and then just Chance Orb everything and just watch it all go up in smoke. But that's the main covering of the sort of currencies up here. How you can use them, how you can use the trade site, how you can use Craft of Exile to sort of determine whether you should spend a little bit of time investing into an item to see if you can make it worth a little bit more. There's a couple more very minor things I want to cover off, so we're going to jump on over to the Reforging Bench and how you can use that to save yourself a bit of money. Alright, next one to talk about is the Reforging Bench, and there's a couple of things here you can do to save yourself money. In fact, well, there's one major thing you can do to save yourself money, and there's another thing you can do if you want to sort of mess around a bit more with crafting. So with these essences that you pick up, if you get 3 of them, and you don't have to put 1 in each slot, by the way, you can just put 3 in the first slot. But if you get 3 of these of a type you don't want, you used to be able to reforge them to make them go up a tier. You can't anymore, but you can now reforge them into another random essence. So if you've got essences you're just not using, you can try and reforge them and sort of random roll 3 to 1 to get essences that you do want. Speed ones are particularly useful because you can use those to craft speed boots, which are nearly always worth money. So, and they seem to be very rare getting those speed ones. So trying to craft out to speed is pretty good. The other thing you can do, so one of the things you might have noticed or might be trying to look for is getting one of these enhancements on your neck, which actually come from the Delirium now and not from Blight. But when you're doing the Delirium, you'll typically be dropping the first 3 tiers, and it can seem like it's going to take forever to get the last one, and it's still going to take forever doing this method, but you can actually put these into your reforging bench, and you can reforge 3 to 1 up a tier. Now, for some reason, the UI has been designed to be as punishing as possible, and you have to click each one and then click up here to take it out. But you can actually... I'm done. You can actually reforge them up and push them up tiers so that you can get some of these might be worth some money. Now, it's worth looking to see if 3 of 1 tier below is worth less than the tier above. If so, you can play that market, buy these and sell them. Now, they've made actually buying this a lot quicker. Now, you can, of course, use the trade website, and let's just jump onto that trade website for a moment. We pull that over here. You've got the concept of bulk item exchange. You can trade currency for currency. So you could go and say, right, I've got these and I want some exalteds. Who's going to hit me up? And then someone's here and they're trading exalteds for distilled envy, and that's great. However, they've actually put this in the game. There's a currency exchange. This is what your gold's for. I found it. You can actually go in here and you can say, I've got exalted, and what I would actually like, I would like some delirium, and I would actually like some of these distilled greeds. They're going 1 for 1 at the moment. So actually, I just want 3. So I'm going to stick, well, they're going slightly more than 1 for 1. I'm actually going to be greedy. I'm going to try and get 4 for my 3. Place that order in. Now, it's not fulfilled straight. And it's gone, right? So I got that slightly over ratio. I got that. The market ratio at the moment is trading at 1.17, but I just got those for 1.33. So that's a bit of a steal. So then what we can do is then start. Now, actually, I wonder if I could sell those. I wonder if I could sell those at 1 to 1. And then you can go in and put them back up. And then you're spending your gold to flip money. We're not going to do that. But that's how you can use Alva then to sort of trade up and get the currency that you want. So if you are doing some crafting and you're just short a couple of things, this is great. You just run here. Trade up a bit of currency. All happens in game. You don't have to go to someone's hideout. You don't have to wait for the trade. Alva sorts all that out for you, and it just makes the currency trading side of things a lot smoother, which makes when you are trying to do that bit of crafting, given how rare it is to get bases now that are worth crafting, it does make at least getting the currency a little bit easier. But anyway, that's really the basics, the very real rudiments of getting stuck into some crafting, what to look for, a couple of resources you can use to help actually make good currency from the items. So you're not just selling it all to Doriani just for the gold, which you're then gambling on rings. You're actually looking to try and make some profit where you can reinvest that into your character. I hope there's been a couple of hints and tips you found useful in this one, guys. And if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. It really does help. And I hope to catch you in another video. Have a good one.